and welcome to Cal State Fullerton's The Report with the latest news, views, and info to go. I'm Christina Rasband.
I'm Sarah Fenton.
And I'm Jen Moynihan.
Today we will start by discussing some hot topics such as gun control, guerrilla journalism, the VMAs, a controversial retail fashion choice, as well as the very current and trending Lou Gehrig's disease outreach program, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Beyond our discussion, we have reports on current CSUF events, including SRS's Fun Friday, the Titan Family Weekend, a concert under the stars, and CSUF's Days of Discovery.
And finally, we conclude with some key local and national news, including an increase in California's gas tax, new legislation on sexual consent, Hurricane Marie, updates on an international terror threat, Apple's latest gadgets, and the possibility of Ebola in the United States. A 9-year-old girl accidentally shot and killed her instructor at a shooting range in Arizona last week. The girl and her family were at a popular tourist shooting range last stop in White Hills, Arizona, when the accident occurred. The girl reportedly lost control of the automatic weapon, which fired over the girl's head and killed 39-year-old shooting instructor Charles Vaca. Vaca was airlifted to the University Medical Center in Las Vegas, where he died from fatal head injuries. The incident has recently raised the question of whether or not age limits should be imposed at these facilities. Ladies, what do you think?
It just came out that she hurt her shoulder while operating this weapon, so obviously it was too powerful for her to be operating. I mean, it's an automatic weapon, and someone of her size and obviously age, I don't think it really has a factor. It's her size that really shows that she wasn't capable of holding something that strong.
I mean, what's the difference between a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old? I mean, it's just a situation that you don't want to be in as a 9-year-old and be told through the media that you're a murderer. I mean, I've seen that all over, that people are actually telling this girl that she's a murderer. And imagine like her growing up and being told that. That's a lot to take as a child, and that's going to really mess you up growing up with that, you know?
And I think that, you know, critics that are calling her a murderer, that's going like a little too far. I mean, it was an accident. She did have an instructor with her, and regardless of whether you're under 18 or over 18, when you're in that situation and you're firing those weapons, there's always the chance for an accident. So that's just, you know, really unfortunate.
Earlier this month, American freelance journalist James Foley was beheaded by the militant group known as ISIS in a video posted on social media. The group also threatened the lives of other journalists being held captive in the region, including another American, Stephen Sotloff, who was beheaded yesterday. These events have raised concerns by the media and others for the safety of international freelance journalists. By definition, freelance journalists are not associated with any major news organizations and make a living by selling stories and photos. The Associated Press reported earlier this week that some are cautious and well-trained, others take major risks. Should freelance journalists be required to take an extra step to ensure their safety abroad?
They're going into a war zone. I mean, we have people that are trained in the military, in the Army. They're training for months before they go out into something like this. So I believe that journalists especially need to be prepared for what they're going to see and what they're going to experience when they're out there.
Definitely. And, you know, any major news organization, when they're sending people out, they always assess the security risk, you know. If it's not safe for reporters, they don't send them. And with freelance journalists, you know, they don't have that option. So if they go over there and they get captured or, you know, whatever, it's really hard to figure out, you know, when they go missing. They could be missing for weeks or months. No one will really know.
Well, and I saw in the news recently that they said that a family friend had said that he was well prepared to go over there. So at what level do you say that like you're prepared, and like at what level are you going to be taking a risk? You know, so that's scary. You can't plan for that kind of stuff, and I doubt that he had any idea that that would happen, you know.
True. Maybe like what you said, training similar to military training would be beneficial for them.
They need to prepare,
or like some sort of program.
Yeah. Something
you need
just
to incorporate that at Cal State Fullerton.
Just to prepare
Comm department.
Exactly.
Prep us, right?
Yeah. Miley Cyrus stole the show at the VMAs without even getting off her seat. While receiving the award for Best Music Video of the Year, She remained in her seat and instead sent 22-year-old homeless man Jesse help. Jesse took the chance to raise awareness for homelessness and urged those who wish to help to go to Cyrus's Facebook page. Some are calling the effort a ploy to clean up her image at a time where charity is particularly popular. Ladies, what are your thoughts on Miley's actions?
Well, I mean, if you look at last year's performance at the VMAs, whether you loved her or you hated her, you're still going to watch.
Exactly.
So, I mean, maybe this is a chance for her to get some positive PR about her out there. I don't know. What do you think?
I love Miley Cyrus. I'm sorry, like the first time I watched it, I was like, what are you doing, Miley? Like, what is this? But, you know, I really genuinely believe that she is trying to do something good for the public. And, you know, you always see these red carpet events and they're the same boring red carpet speeches. Thank you so much. But she actually did something different and was standing out of the crowd, and you can't judge her on it like you can, but it's not a negative thing. She's bringing awareness to something that people should know about. Like, people are going out to LA to follow their dreams, quote unquote, you know, and they can live in their cars now because that law was passed where you can live in your cars in LA. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing, and, you know, we need to be more aware.
And who else would we expect this from? I mean, it's Miley Cyrus. She's known for pushing the envelope.
Riding the wrecking ball.
Exactly. She'll be critiqued for doing bad things, and now she's being critiqued for doing something that is supposed to be good. So at least she's doing something. I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah,
so.
she's bringing attention to a cause that we should be talking about.
Exactly.
Zara recently apologized after removing a children's t-shirt from its stores. The company removed the striped t-shirt with a gold star detail from its stores after it received a wave of media criticism. Critics on social media argued that the children's shirt closely resembled uniforms worn by concentration camp inmates during World War II. Zara apologized in a statement released on the company's Twitter page, saying, "We honestly apologize. It was inspired by the sheriff stars from the classic Western films and is no longer in our stores." Ladies, in your opinion, did Zara go too far with the shirt?
Yes. I mean, I did a little bit of research, and I saw that a couple months back or a couple years back, I don't know, they had also created handbags, and on these handbags they had little swastika emblems.
Oh.
So, I mean, strike one is there. Now, strike two with these stars, you know, when you call strike three, you know, it's a little fishy.
I feel like, you know, there has to be somebody with a company that big who approves these designs. So you can't tell me that, you know, they went through this and no one noticed the resemblance to some of those uniforms. And, you know, I see where they were going with it. You know, the star might be kind of similar to the sheriff's badge, but the stripes, I mean, who wears stripes in the Old West?
Exactly. I mean, separately, yes, you have it right. But the star, definitely Old Western. I mean, you can see it in any movie, but where do you see the stripes except on maybe the inmates in the jails?
Yep.
So I don't think the two really fit well together.
Cops
I mean,
and
I
robbers?
I
don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. But
It's an interesting fashion statement.
Yes.
For a child.
Definitely.
Yeah. No. With the powerful backing of social media, a charitable campaign by Lou Gehrig's disease, commonly known as ALS, has taken the world by a storm in an effort to raise awareness and donations to combat the disease. The premise is simple. Take a bucket of ice-cold water, dump it over yourself, and challenge a couple of friends to do the same while having the option to opt out in favor of a donation or do both. Forbes is calling the effort a philanthropic blockbuster, as it has raised $100 million so far. The list of people taking on the challenge includes celebrities like Oprah, Jennifer Aniston, and Rihanna, among others. However, the challenge has received criticism recently after it was reported that only 27% of the money donated is used for research. Also, some residents in California have raised concern about the water usage due to the recent drought. In your opinion, is 27% enough? And do you think that the challenge is contributing to the drought?
my question is, okay, yes, 27% is going towards funding their research. Where's the other part going? If it's going towards funding their salaries, obviously we need to reconsider what's going on. But if it's going towards funding these families who have to deal with, this is a very sad disease that these people have. If it's going to fund them and to help them deal with this process and deal with getting them machines, then obviously, yeah, it would be fine. I mean, I'd be fine donating to that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every dollar helps, but at the same time, you know, you're the one donating, so it's kind of, you know, the donator's responsibility to look into, you know, what percentage is actually going towards research. So if you're not okay with 27%, don't donate. But if you are, I mean, I'm sure it still helps the organization quite a bit.
Well, I mean, personally, I think that like 27%, though it seems low, it's more than the organization was getting years back, you know, and something like ALS is so personable for someone to have, and I don't think many people that do have the disease want to really come out and talk about it. So the fact that we can go on our Facebook or our Instagram and see these posts of people dumping a bucket of ice on their head, it may seem like funny and cool and stuff, but like that gets the public to go out on Wikipedia or Google and actually like look up what the heck is ALS. And it gets us to know what it is. Because personally, I didn't even know what ALS was until I saw my friends getting thrown with ice on their heads. So I think it's a good thing, you know?
Definitely. And then, you know, as for the drought, you see in California all the time sprinklers that are watering the sidewalks and, you know, in the streets instead of the grass. You know, people are taking hour-long showers. I don't really think dumping a bucket of ice water is contributing to California's drought.
Well, I take that hour-long shower.
And those sprinklers, when I'm running, those are my best friends. So, I mean, we obviously have things that are also contributing to the drought, so we can't just pinpoint this one little thing that has came and almost gone already through social media.
That's true. And I think there's also a couple articles out too for people who are concerned. You know, you can use pool water, you can, you know, choose to not shower that day.
Oh, there you go.
If that's what
that floats your boat,
exactly.
I guess.
Exactly. I've seen some very creative ways on how people are conserving water while still doing the challenge. So it's a win-win, I think, in both ways.
Definitely.
Washington Monthly listed Cal State Fullerton as one of the top best bang for your buck schools for the second year in a row. The national magazine's 2014 rankings, published in the September-October issue, raised CSUF number 4 in the nation. Editors for the publication say they selected schools based on the economic value students receive per dollar. Of the 1,540 colleges in consideration, editors for the magazine also said that only 386 made the list.
Looking to get involved on campus? Cal State Fullerton has a variety of events and entertainment for students, friends, and family lined up this month. This Friday, September 6th, come meet new and returning Titans at the Student Rec Center. There'll be a barbecue from 12 to 2 at the SRC pool deck. Listen to music, eat, and mingle with your fellow Titans at this fall semester kickoff event.
Don't forget to bring your family to Cal State Fullerton September 12th through the 14th for Family Weekend. There will be a lacrosse game on Friday where families can come out and support the men's lacrosse team as they take on Occidental College. Lunch at the Gastronome and family workshops will take place on Saturday. Ending the weekend on September 14th, Cal State Fullerton will be celebrating its first annual Cal State Fullerton Day at Angel Stadium.
All That Jazz is coming to Cal State Fullerton on Saturday, September 13th for its annual concert Under the Stars. The concert will feature all genres of jazz from Latin to funk. Faculty member and Grammy Award-winning jazz pianist, composer, and arranger Bill Cunliffe will be the musical director for the night. This concert will feature students and alumni of the College of the Arts. For ticket information, visit fullerton.edu/concert.
Lastly, come celebrate the start of the fall semester during Cal State Fullerton's Days of Discovery from September 15th to the 17th in the Central Quad. Students will have a chance to learn about the various clubs and organizations on campus, as well as meet with current members and leaders. We'll see you all at DiscoverFest.
Students, are you having trouble finding a cheap and easy way to cook meals in your dorm or apartment? Or just looking to find something new? Former military chef and Titan TV reporter Derek Phillips will provide you with a step-by-step tutorial in our latest college cooking segment.
Hi, I'm Derek Phillips. Look, today we have a whole lot of eating choices available to us. We can go fast food, we can order stuff in for delivery, we eat a lot of pizza as college students. But sometimes we want something that's delicious and nutritious, quick, easy, and that we can do at home. So today we're going to do a chicken Caesar salad. So basically, first off, what we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken, we're going to put it in a pan, very much like my electric skillet here, and season it with a little bit of lemon pepper. And as that cooks off, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the actual salad part. Now, me personally, I happen to like a mix of romaine and just regular leaf lettuce. So make sure that you tear it. You don't actually cut it with a knife. After we've got it all torn apart, then we go ahead and toss just a little bit. Then, one of the next things that you're going to do is you're going to take your Caesar salad dressing and just apply liberally. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add some of our Parmesan cheese. Once we've got that, we toss once again. And while you're doing this, make sure that you keep a close eye on your chicken. You don't want one side to burn and the other side to not be done correct. You'll be able to pull it right out of the pan. Through the magic of television, I have one done already. So you get your chicken cut in nice strips for your salad. You can actually run the blade up against your knuckles. That way you're not cutting your fingertips. And then you go ahead and serve some of your salad on your plate. And then you serve your chicken up on top. If you want to get a little bit more fancy with it, maybe ruin some of those dietary goodness, you can throw a little bit of sunflower kernels and bacon bits on top. You can throw some croutons on top. We can garnish with cucumbers and tomatoes. There we go, chicken Caesar salad.
Cal State Fullerton is raising awareness for the homeless through a new art exhibit, Seeing the Invisible, Life on the Streets. The exhibit uses realistic art pieces to depict situations that many homeless individuals face. Also included is an outdoor extension which captures the struggles of living on the street. The university will be accepting donations during the event, including clothing, bus passes, and blankets, which will be distributed by the Fullerton Police Department. Seeing the Invisible kicks off this Saturday, September 6th, and will run until October 11th at the Begovich Gallery.
In local news, beginning in January next year, California plans to raise its gas tax to pay for the nation's first ever climate change law. The law requires California to reduce its carbon emission levels by 2020. However, at 68 cents a gallon, California is already paying the nation's second highest gas tax. The California Air Resources Board estimates the new tax will raise prices from 20 cents to $1.30 per gallon.
The new law passed by the state Senate requires colleges and universities to evaluate disciplinary charges of sexual assault under an affirmative consent standard. The standard means that affirmative, conscious, and voluntary agreement to engage in sexual activity, lack of protest or resistance does not mean consent, nor does silence mean consent. The new law was passed in hopes that it will help prevent sexual violence on campus. State colleges and universities will be required to incorporate this affirmative consent standard in order to continue to qualify for state funds.
Hurricane Marie, which was downgraded to tropical storm, has come to pass the eastern Pacific and reached the Southern California beaches just last week. Last Wednesday, minor flooding was caused on Seal Beach in South Los Angeles. While excited surfers rushed for the waters for a thrilling ride of up to 20-foot high waves, on Santa Catalina, the harsh waves caused heavy damage on the boatyard, carrying rocks and sand, which tossed dry dock boats off their stands. Although some witnesses called it the worst tropical storm to hit our beaches in some time, that did not deter surfers and body surfers from experiencing the waves. Lifeguards lined the coastlines, and thankfully only a few incidents were reported. The storm has now been downgraded to a post-tropical cyclone and is not expected to further reach the United States.
The Phoenix Club of Anaheim will kick off their annual Oktoberfest on September 19th. The festivities will take place every weekend until October 26th. Come out and enjoy some delicious German food, German beer on tap, polkas and prosts in the Phoenix Club's very own beer garden. In international news, just days after Great Britain raised its security level from substantial to severe, British Prime Minister David Cameron called for a new anti-terrorism law during a meeting with Parliament on Monday. The proposed laws would allow the government temporary power to seize passports of individuals suspected of traveling to aid the Islamic militant group known as ISIS. They would also include measures to prevent these individuals from returning to the UK. According to CNN, British authorities estimate around 500 British citizens have traveled to fight with the Islamic groups. In the U.S., however, White House spokesman Josh Earnest said the government has no immediate plans to raise the nation's security level.
European Union leaders met in Brussels on Saturday to discuss the crisis in Ukraine and potentially execute additional economic sanctions against Russia. The proposed sanctions are being drawn up in response to reports of Russian troops crossing the Ukrainian border. According to NATO, around 1,000 Russian soldiers are in Ukraine, despite Russia's denial of military involvement. European Commission President Jose Manuel Barroso declined to provide specific information about which sanctions are being considered. However, it is a requirement that all potential sanctions have a unanimous agreement from all member countries in the European Union. So far, both the U.S. and European Union have imposed sanctions directly against Russian officials and companies involved in the sanctions in the country's economy.
The Ebola virus outbreak originating in African countries is the worst it's ever been, killing 670 people and infecting more than 1,000. What makes this outbreak worse compared to others is that there is no known cure for the virus. Because so many people are getting infected, there's concern about what would happen if the Ebola virus were spread to the United States. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention gave hospitals recommendations on what to do in case the virus does find its way over here. According to health officials, it's just as easy as isolating the patient in a private room and safely managing them. Doctors believe that the chance of the virus spreading and finding its way to Orange County is very low. However, it doesn't hurt to prepare just in case.
The wait for the next iPhone may soon be over. Apple has confirmed that it will be hosting an event on September 9th at the Center for the Performing Arts to debut its new products. While Apple's Chief Executive Officer Tim Cook has declined to provide additional information about the events, both recent rumors and Apple's event invitation, which coyly states, "Wish we could say more," suggests that the company has several big announcements. Apple is excited to showcase its latest version of the iPhone, according to Bloomberg News, with screen size options including 4.7 and 5.5-inch models. The company is also expected to debut a new wearable device similar to Samsung's smartwatch, which will be the company's newest product category in the last 4 years.
Earlier this month, Michael Brown, an unarmed 18-year-old African American, was shot and killed by a white police officer. Brown was reported to have allegedly been participating in a robbery moments before the incident. A number of citizens in the city of Ferguson have gathered together in violent protest of the police department and are demanding justice for Brown. The riots have forced Ferguson police to use extreme measures, including tear gas, to disperse the crowd. The local elementary school had to postpone its first day of school to ensure the safety of students walking to and from the building. Recently, city officials have encouraged citizens to hold their vigils and protests during the day to avoid further tension or violence.
Undergraduate college students at North Carolina State University have developed a nail polish to prevent date rape. The nail polish is said to change colors when it is in contact with common date rape drugs such as Rohypnol, Xanax, and GHB. To determine whether a drug has been slipped into a drink, the user simply has to stir the drink with a finger. The inventors of the new polish have received investment offers ranging as high as $100,000 for further development of the product.
The amount of space seats airline passengers receive on flights is causing tension, according to the Associated Press. In order to boost profits, airline companies have installed additional rows of seats in recent years. However, President of the Association of Flight Attendants, Sarah Nielsen, says this reduction of space has increased conflict amongst passengers. At least 3 U.S. flights have made unscheduled landings in the last 2 weeks to resolve conflicts amongst passengers over the ability to recline their seats. Companies including Southwest and United have condensed the space between the seats to make room for 6 additional seats per row. American Airlines, for example, is boosting its seat count on its Boeing 737s from 150 to 160.
Well, that's all we have on this edition of The Report. Join us next time for more up-to-date news, views, and info to go. Thank you. I'm Christina Rasband.
I'm Sarah Fenton.
And I'm Jen Moynihan. Stay fresh, Fullerton.